All right, we're live over here, and we're live over here. Awesome. So let me see. As you can see, I'm live in two spaces today because I really wanted to try something different, and so we're gonna try this out. But hi, welcome. I'm gonna kind of go back and forth here since I can't really line up the cameras. But hello, everybody, and welcome back to Goodies. This is a really awesome topic today. Let me get my widescreen here. All right. So, I'm so excited to be back with everybody today and to really utilize this virtual community, with everything going on in the world. Oh, the coronavirus and everything, it's just so great. It's so refreshing to me to be able to connect with my community on social media, on the interwebs, on everything virtual. So, welcome back. Before we dive into today's topic here, I wanted to review a little bit of last week and check in with everybody, see how everybody did with that learnings, and if there was any questions that I could answer before we got started. So I'm just gonna grab my water here, and I got my oranges and I got some lemon juice in there, boosting that immune system, all the good stuff. So last week we talked about food, right? We talked a lot about whole foods and the importance of whole foods in our body for our gut and for our immune system. And we also learned how to read labels, what to look for on certain nutrition labels. And so I'm just curious how everybody was doing with that, and if there was any questions around that, because I know that can be kind of confusing when you're first starting to learn how to read labels and to really understand how important whole foods are for our body and what the difference is between like whole grain versus, enriched wheat flour, so to speak, like in a nutrition label. And we also talked about inflammation and what happens in our gut when our gut is inflamed and how it becomes inflamed. So if there were any questions on that, I just wanted to make sure that I answered them. I don't know what happened here. There we go. Okay. So we talked a lot about food last week. And this week, we're talking about a concept called conscious eating, or some, like I was trained at Health Coach Institute, it was more sensual eating. And we're really going to dive into this because it's really, really interesting. Like, we're in such a fast-paced world that like anything we do, it's fast. Like, we eat fast, we talk fast, drive fast, whatever. We're always kind of in a rush, right? Like, we're always busy. Everybody's always busy. So what I'd like to do here is, check in with everybody, write in the comments here if you consider yourself a busy person, like that you are just go. You're not really thinking about not necessarily what food you're putting in your body, but how it goes into your body and, how quickly you eat, things like that. So, and also when you're chiming in on the comments, tag a friend. This is going to be a really interesting conversation, maybe one that might blow your mind. I mean, it blew my mind when I first learned about it. Got to stay hydrated. Got a lemon seed. All right. Anyway, so yeah, just let me know. Do you consider yourself a busy person? And I mean, right now we're kind of all being forced to slow down. So maybe if you were a busy person, maybe now you're challenged with the need to slow down. So, and we're going to be talking a lot about that. So, conscious eating. Well, what is conscious eating? What is sensual eating? being conscious is really about being aware and opening up your awareness, your mind to, what's on your plate, where did it come from, and then really slowing down as you eat. So my training at Health Coach Institute, they teach us the secrets, the tools for sensual or conscious eating. And I'm going to share those with you today. So if you want, you can take some notes. If not, I will be sure to share the handout for these tips these secrets for conscious eating. So the very first one is about time, and we call this the 20-minute meal. The 20-minute meal is all about taking your time eating. So how long do you think it takes you to eat? Like, let's say, what's your biggest meal of the day, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, how long it takes you to eat your biggest meal of the day? It could be 5 minutes if you're in a rush. It could be 10 minutes if you're, kind of in a rush, but still trying to be conscious. So the 20-minute meal helps us focus in on actual time and see how long we're actually taking to eat. Because it takes our bodies 20 minutes to actually feel full. So if we're eating really fast, if we're eating like in 5 minutes, our body is like, doesn't really know what to do. And so it's asking for more food because it hasn't been given the chance to really digest and to really get, the sensations in your mouth and in your body. So it doesn't know that it's full. So you just keep eating until you feel full. Hope that makes sense. So the 20-minute meal, this technique, it's really about, like I said, opening up your awareness and gaining that understanding of how long it takes you to eat. So how this works is you take a meal, whatever your next meal is, if you want to do your next meal, and you just check the clock before you start eating. And then just eat at normal speed. Don't think about anything, just eat as you normally would eat. And then when you're done, check the clock again and see how long it took you. So if it took you, let's say you're eating, a sandwich for lunch, like a pub sub, like a nice big pub sub. Say it takes you 10 minutes to eat that sub. Well, now the next time you eat, we're going to add 5 minutes. So you're going to set a timer for 15 minutes, and then you eat and see how you line up with that 10-minute or 15-minute mark. So like if you're done already again at 10 minutes, just open the awareness, open your mindset to stretching it out. And I'm going to be talking about ways to do sensual eating, to be really conscious so that you can eat for 20 minutes. Like for me, I could take half an hour to eat a meal, maybe even 45 minutes, depending on what I'm eating. So that's the number one tip. That's the number one tool, is the 20-minute meal, and really seeing how long it takes you to eat a meal. So the second tip here, the second tool, secret, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to say, is called EBT, which is emotional brain training. And this is a check-in that you would do with your body. It's so funny. I'm like going back and forth here. So this is a check-in that you would do with yourself. And you're really just checking where your stress level is. You're checking where your emotions are. That's why it's called emotional brain training. So we're checking in with our brain. We're checking in with our body. Because remember, our brain and our body, of course, are connected. We have our central nervous system in our brain and our spinal cord. And then that branches off into an autonomic nervous system, which is everything that you do automatically, your digestion, your breathing, your heart rate. All of that is in one branch. And then there's another branch I think somatic nervous system, I believe is what it's called. Science. But that's all like the things that you can control. So like your muscles and like, moving your fingers, doing a dance, those kinds of things are on that side. So in the autonomic nervous system, we have parasympathetic and sympathetic sides of our body. So the parasympathetic side, say that 10 times fast, parasympathetic is the relaxation state. So this is where our body really thrives and where digestion turns on and you can really just relax and digest in, a really comfortable space. And then we have the sympathetic side, which is the total opposite. It shuts down digestion. It's triggered when you're in a stress response, the fight or flight response, but it's also triggered when there's just no food in your body. So it's not necessarily bad to be in sympathetics. Like if there's no food in your body, like that's just where it is, unless you're in a fight or flight state, like you're in stress. So ultimately, we want to be in the parasympathetic nervous system. And to do that, this is where the EBT really comes into play before you eat. So checking in with your body, where is my stress level right now? Am I at a 1 where I'm barely feeling anything, or am I at a 5 where it's just I'm totally stressed out, like I'm basically binge eating, I'm eating my feelings, like that sort of thing. So when we check in for EBT before we eat, the goal is to get into that parasympathetic state so that your digestion turns on and your body is just in the perfect state to eat and assimilate all the good nutrients and to let your body fully digest the way it's supposed to. So when we're in this relaxation state, like relax, there's a saying that I learned. Oh my goodness. I can't think of it right now, but parasympathetic, relaxation state, digest, all that good stuff. So to get there, like if you check your EBT, you do like a little body scan. So body scan, okay, how am I feeling? Where am I at? 1 to 5. And you can kind of gauge how to approach it. So like if you're feeling great, like awesome, go ahead and eat. Like take a deep breath and then you can start to eat your food. If you're starting to feel like you're a little bit stressed, do that. Take a deep breath. Maybe ground in, some gratitude for your food. Notice some things around you that you're grateful for. Turn off the TV, maybe light a candle, do those kinds of things to help bring your stress level down. Breathing is a really big one though. Taking a couple deep breaths, allowing your body to really just relax. And hey, I'm wearing my breathe shirt. Look at that. So that's the second secret. EBT, doing a little check-in, see where your stress level is at. And if you're in that sympathetic space, do what you can, do what you know to do. Like, your body and your mind. Like, listen to the cues it's giving you when you're in a stressful state, and you'll know what to do to get into the parasympathetic state. And if you don't know what to do and you want some extra tips, I'm always here. And I'm happy to help you out with anything in regards to any of this. So that's number 2. So the first one was a 20-minute meal, seeing how long you actually eat your food. The second one, EBT check-in, really tune into your body and see where your stress level's at and do what you can to bring it down. Number 3 is a tool or a technique that you do while you're eating. And that's putting your fork or your utensil down, whatever you're using, to eat. So if you're eating a sandwich, obviously you don't have a utensil, right? Your hands are your utensil. So in that sense, you take a bite, you put your sandwich down, and you actually focus on your food and, chew, swallow, and then pick it up, try again. The more that we can put down what our utensils are, there's a break there, right? Like you can only shove so much in your mouth at one time. So if we put our fork down, if we, put our sandwich down, put our hands away, that provides a space for us to breathe, which happens to be the next tip. So tip number 4, secret number 4 is breathing. A lot of times we forget how important breathing is when it comes to our to eating and to our digestion. So oxygen is super important. If our organs don't have the oxygen it needs to digest appropriately, it's not going to digest. And that's when you get, indigestion, GERD, acid reflux, all those kinds of things. And that comes into play with slowing down. So when we breathe, we are slowing down. We're putting down our fork. We're putting down our utensil. We're breathing. We're slowing down. So if you're somebody that is, I eat healthy, I eat clean, but I can't seem to lose any weight. If you're that person and you say that to yourself, or you Google it, what can I do to lose weight when I eat so healthy? Check on how fast you eat. That's the first place to notice. Because when you're eating fast, you're in more of a parasympathetic state than you are you're more in a sympathetic state than you are in a parasympathetic state. And when you're in a stressful state, you can't digest. Our bodies literally can't digest when we're stressed out. So if you're eating while you're stressed, that can accumulate to weight gain. It can, give you all those uncomfortable symptoms, bloat, indigestion, all that discomfort in your digestive tract. So breathing, super important. And really all of these secrets, all of these tips, these techniques will transform your health, even if you change nothing else. If you, hone in on, there's 7 of these secrets. If you hone in on these 7 secrets and really get into a conscious state when you're eating, it will change your life drastically. So really, how you eat is as much or maybe even more important than what you eat. Now, I'm not saying you can eat, McDonald's every day, fast food every day, junk food, kind of like we talked about last week. I'm not saying you can eat that every day, all day, just by using these tips. You still want to get into that whole foods, healthier kind of lifestyle if you can. But these are just ways that you can allow your body to process effectively and efficiently, even if you're eating junk food. Does that make sense? So that was number 4. And I just want to do a little check-in, make sure everybody's good. Again, I will post these secrets in the comments so that everybody has them. And we'll just keep rocking and rolling. Okay, so the fifth tip here is, and it might sound silly, it kind of sounds silly me saying it out loud, but chewing. Digestion starts in our mouth. So the more that we can chew our food, it breaks down in our mouth. Our saliva, works to break it down and start assimilating the nutrients. But it also, when we start chewing and our saliva is produced, it signals the rest of the body, signals your digestive tract to be ready to digest food. So when we're chewing, we want to, focus on how many times we're chewing. Are we chewing really fast? That kind of thing. So this is all about being conscious, all about opening the awareness. So how many times do you think the average person chews a bite before they swallow it? I want you to think for just a second. How many times do you chew before you actually swallow? You probably are guessing around like 5, maybe higher, right? But no, the answer is 3. 3 times. The average person chews 3 times before they swallow. That's really fast. And your food is still pretty whole at 3 chews. Like, seriously, next time you go to eat something, chew for 3 times and see how broken down it is. So the more that you can chew and the slower you can chew, you're going to allow your body to communicate with each other, and you're going to allow the hormone talk, and you're going to allow the assimilation in your mouth. You're going to allow so much more communication to happen that your body is just going to respond in the most amazing way. Like, hey, I'm eating. I'm happy. Like, I can digest now, So when we're eating and when we're chewing, we're signaling our brain, we're signaling our body, and we're having this kind of communication system, because the brain and the body, we know, are in constant communication, right? So if we don't allow the body to talk to each other and we just shove our face and we don't think about, what's going in our mouth or how long we're, starting to chew it and things like that, we're not allowing our body to feel full, and we're not getting the pleasure that the brain really wants when it's eating, and what it's craving that satisfaction after eating. So if you just keep eating and you're not really chewing your food, your brain says, eat more, eat more. Like, I'm not satisfied yet because I'm eating too fast. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So your brain craves this like sensual experience, hence why this is called sensual eating, because we're giving our brain that love and that vivacious feeling that it wants, and you're letting your body digest and your metabolism work better because you're allowing yourself to enjoy and relax in whatever you're eating. So it's this sensual pleasure of eating. Like, we get to eat. Like, us as humans, we get to choose what we want to eat, and we get to enjoy it. Like, whatever it is. Like, some people love, like savory treats. Some people love sweet treats. Most people love sweet treats, right? So if when you're eating these sweet treats, like, giving your brain and your body that time to groove and to really like enjoy what you're eating. So like if you have a history of like binge eating or like eating your feelings, like I was talking about before, right? Like, everybody right now, I'm just gonna give an example. I'm seeing a lot of people right now saying like that they're eating all of their like quarantine snacks, and say goodbye to like the weight that I just like lost. I just lost however many pounds, and I'm gonna gain it back because I'm in quarantine. If you practice these techniques and you can savor what you're eating, even if it is the junk food that you're buying on quarantine because it's something to have like in the house, like just in case, then be sensual with it. Like, fully enjoy the taste, fully enjoy the texture, fully enjoy it, and you're giving your body that sensual feeling. Because when we're overeating, are we overeating or are we just underaware? Do you see how that works? So like if you just keep eating, are you actually just continuing to eat because you don't know what to do? That signals the unawareness of like, do I really need to eat? The more aware you are, the less you actually need to eat. Because like I said, it takes our bodies 20 minutes to feel full. So if we take that 20 minutes to really let our bodies chew and swallow and be sensual and let our brain get that satisfaction of eating, we're really aware. So we're not going to eat as much. Right? Make sense? Okay, so that was tip number 5, chewing. That was kind of a longer explanation of that one. But yes, chewing. Keep it in your mouth as long as you can. Let it get really broken down in your mouth before you swallow. Okay, and then the 6th tip, 6th secret, is eating until you're satisfied. What does that mean? So we eat like food is fuel, right? So we're eating to live, not necessarily living to eat, right? So we're reconnecting and listening to our bodies at this point when we're eating to when we're satisfied. And that brings back in the 20-minute meal. That brings back in the knowledge that we know that it takes 20 minutes for our bodies to feel full. So if we're eating until our pants can't even button, or we're just so like full that we want to take a nap, like we're disconnected from that eating for energy kind of concept. And you know, these days with the diet culture and like depriving ourselves and like having all these outside rules, we're losing the connection between our brains and our bodies. So when we're eating, if we can really listen and pay attention to the body cues and you know, stop eating when we're actually full or almost full, and then give ourselves a minute. Like here's a good little side tip within this tip. So if you're eating, you know, slow, you're eating your 20-minute meal, and you know, you still have a bunch of food on your plate, in your bowl, however you eat, take 5 minutes. Take 5 minutes. Put your fork down, sit back, and breathe if you're not sure if you're full. If you're not sure if you're satisfied, give your body that extra couple minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, to really just see if you're full. So like for me, I tend to like we watch TV when we're eating. Most of the time it's the Food Channel or a movie, something like that. But you know, it's like mindless TV. It helps me get into that parasympathetic state. So so when we're eating, we're watching TV, like if I still have food in my bowl and I'm not like I feel full but I'm not sure, like I'll just sit back and watch TV for a couple minutes, and if after a couple minutes I want to go back and eat, like my body is still hungry, then I will. If not, like leftovers, right? Like you don't have to finish your meal. And sometimes like our eyes are bigger than our stomachs when we're making our plate or making our bowl. And, you know, we have this programming, some of us, that like you have to clean your plate, right? Not necessarily. If you were hungrier, like your eyes were bigger than your stomach when you were making your plate, and then all of a sudden you get to the table and you're like, oh man, I served myself too much. It's okay. You can save it. So breaking out of that programming and just eating until you are satisfied, it doesn't matter what food is on the plate still. It doesn't matter what your partner's eating. It doesn't matter what your kids are eating. Like, these are cues that your body will give you. And if you can really take that time, do the check-in, put your fork down, breathe, and chew, all of these things build upon each other so that you can eat and feel super comfortable in your body. And you're not going to feel bloated. You shouldn't feel like indigestion if you're being conscious and sensual with your food. And then the last tip I have for you, the last secret here, is honestly being bad in a good way. So BAD is an acronym we have at Health Coach Institute. That's B, break free from your routine. A, act naughty. And D, do something fun and crazy. So this is all about letting loose, relaxing into like breaking out of the routine. This is why, like, diet culture is so important to know like what you're actually doing to your body. So breaking free from those restrictions, from the deprivation, from the outside, like the outside, the rules, the outside rules of the diet culture, and really just reconnecting with your body and having it be okay. Having it be okay that you want a sweet treat every once in a while. Having it be okay that you filled your plate too much and you can't eat it all and you need to save it. Feeling okay to have a drink with your girlfriends or your guy friends, every once in a while. Like, these kinds of things, like, we have our own mechanisms for like rebellion, right? Like, we put up our own walls around ourselves when it comes to food. Like, oh, I can't eat that. Like, it's going to make me bloat. Like, I can't do that because of, whatever. And I am telling you, these tips will transform your life. Once you start slowing down, and really, why not now? Like, we're forced to slow down anyway from society as a whole. Like, our whole world is slowing down. So if we can just take this opportunity to slow down within ourselves and influence it on our family and our friends. I mean, all of these tips are for children too. Like, if your kids just eat, make this a game. Come to the table and, see who can eat the slowest. See who can chew up to 30 times before they swallow. Make this fun for them, and they will notice too, like, in their bodies, like, if they have, any kind of stomach issue around eating, whether they get bloated, they have, gas or, diarrhea or constipation. All of those things can be, prevented through these techniques, slowing down, paying attention to what's in your mouth when it's in your mouth, chewing, breathing, putting your fork down. If you're sitting at the table with your kids during this time, maybe even breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks, because kids are home from school, talk to them. Bring these techniques to life and, get on their level a little bit and, see where they're at. Maybe you can do an EBT all together. Like, okay, where's everybody feeling right now? Maybe at the start of the day, maybe at the end of the day, if you come together for a meal, right? And this also, these tips can go for like whatever you eat. So like, even if you're eating like a snack, a granola bar, just because it's not like a full meal, still take that time to chew it. Take that time to breathe. take the time to put it down. Like, there are ways that you can just allow your body to process. And when we're going too fast, that's when it gets uncomfortable. That's when it gets unhealthy even. So those are the 7 tips. I'll review right quick. The first one was a 20-minute meal. And if anybody has any questions on that, I can definitely go through it with you individually if you prefer. So the second one is the EBT, the emotional brain training. Check in with your body, see where your stress level's at. Number 3, putting your utensil down, whether that be your fork, your spoon, your hands, whatever the vessel is that you're putting food in your mouth, put it down. Number 4 is breathing. Between each bite, taking a nice deep breath and just allowing your body to stay in that relaxed state. Number 5, chewing. And this goes with chewing with all of your senses. So when we chew, we want to focus on what your food tastes like, what it feels like, what it smells like. What environment are you in? Like, all of your senses are working here when you're chewing. Number 6, we're going to eat till we're satisfied, 75 to 80%, and not letting our stomach get so full that we want to take a nap. And number 7, be bad. Break out of that routine, act naughty, and do some fun and crazy stuff. And really, the best time is now. You're home, you're with your family. Maybe try some new recipes. Really just reconnect to your body so that you can treat it the way it needs to be treated in order to function properly for you and to keep you healthy. So those are the 7 secrets, but I also have some tips for sensual eating. And this comes back in to your senses. So first, we think about sight, looking at our food. Are we eating the rainbow? Do we have greens? Do we have, reds? Do we have oranges? And this is colors I'm talking about. So eating the rainbow, having a variety of color on your plate is what we're going for here. And then also with sight can come into play of like how big your portion is and really paying attention to how much you feel you're actually going to eat. Because the other thing is that if you put an amount on your plate, you can always go back for more, especially if you're home and you made it, if you made enough, like you can go back for more. So that's sight. Smell. What does your food smell like? What does your home environment smell like? Really just getting connected to the sensual part of whatever you're eating. So smell, is it smelling spicy? Is it smelling sweet? Is it smelling, all of that? The next one is touch. So, what utensils are you using? Do you have your napkin in your lap? This can also tie in with texture. What does food taste like? What does it feel like in your mouth? Or what does it feel like when you touch it if you're eating with your hands? Your environment. Where are you sitting? Are you sitting at the table with your family? Are you sitting on the couch watching TV? Are you sitting outside because it's beautiful out? Creating the environment for parasympathetic enrichment. Light a candle. Maybe turn off the TV if you're sitting inside. All of these things to kind of boost that parasympathetic state. And then like pampering yourself. If you live alone, or you eat dinner by yourself because your partner works nights, really making a meal that feels good for you and creating this kind of pamper opportunity for eating. So hey, put a robe on. put a face mask on when you're done eating. Like these kinds of rituals that you can do before and after and during your meal are really important. So I have one more set of tips here for you. There's a lot of tips today. Is it Tuesday? Tuesday tips? No, it's Friday. It's Friday. All right. Anyway, so when it comes to chewing, like during your meal, setting up your presence and opening your awareness here. I have a little, I talked a lot about them already, but to get prepared for dinner, wash your hands, of course. We're always washing our hands. Wash your hands, either turn off phones and tech, or if it helps you to calm down, put something fun on the TV, something that you enjoy, or, you can play music, anything that will help create an environment that you feel comfortable in. Light a candle, and then do your EBT check-in. Check in where you're feeling, maybe do some deep breathing, maybe some gratitude grounding, being thankful for what's on your plate, being thankful for who's in your life, being thankful for the little things can literally rewire your brain to calm your body down. And then, set your timer or look at your clock if you're practicing the 20-minute meal. See how long it takes you to eat. And if you catch yourself, like sometimes I'll catch myself, like eating too fast, like, oh my gosh, I'm almost done and it's been 5 minutes. So that's when I sit back and I slow down. So while you're eating, breathe, take a bite, put your fork down, chew, 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 swallow, repeat, right? Breathe, bite, fork, chew, swallow, repeat. And, my mom used to tell me, chew, 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 like chew, chew, chew your food, so that's something that's stuck in my brain. Basically, she used to tell me to chew until it's like in liquid form before I swallow. And, sometimes I'm able to do that. Other times, not so much. But the times that we chew is super important. So I know that was a lot, and it's already like, oh my gosh, again, like a super long video. But I appreciate everybody for sticking with me. And really, these tips, like I said, will transform your life. They will change the way your body responds when you're eating and after. If you get indigestion, if you have GERD, if you get bloated, constipated, any of that after you eat, I promise you, practicing these techniques will help in some way, shape, or form. And guess what? If you need some help, if you have a personal question, ask me. If you want any help on your specific, dietary needs, situation, whatever, I am here. I am open to chatting with you and helping you find a system that works for you. And, in this time of complete uncertainty, everybody's stressed out. This is even more of an important time to reconnect with yourself, reconnect with your loved ones, like check on the people that you love, make sure everybody is okay and doing what they need to do to, stay calm, have faith, and, be relaxed, especially when they're eating. So that's all for today. And this kind of like thing is so confusing to me. So I don't know. Tell me if this was okay. If it was weird over here on Facebook, like when I was looking over here, like just let me know. I just wanted to try this out and see how it did. So maybe next time I'll just stick to one if it's easier for people. But yeah, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Don't forget to breathe. Breathe through these stressful times. Breathe when you're eating. Breathe when you're frustrated with your kids are driving you crazy, or you are a kid and you're annoyed about everything. Like, Just breathe. We will get through this, and we will be stronger on the other side. So hope you all enjoyed this episode and all of the tips for sensual conscious eating. I'm going to go have a snack myself, and keeping hydrated, go wash your hands, go eat some food, pay attention to how you're eating it. And as always, I am here if you have questions, comments, concerns, or just have something you want to share. So yeah, everybody have a great day, and I will talk to you all later. Bye. Bye.